My name is ThatKidDouglas and I'm a 22-year-old loser. I still love animated movies. I think Grand Theft Auto is the most realistic game in the history of mankind. I wear a bunch of tacky, unfashionable t-shirts that make me look like a flamboyant hobo. I hang out with two chucklefucks that hate my guts and want to see me dead. I have a troll for a best friend who wears a My Little Pony t-shirt. I asked the same girl out like 4 times, got rejected, and cried like a little bitch about it. And yes, I look like a piece of shit that got swallowed up by an even bigger piece of shit that then got swallowed up by the giant poo monster from Conker's Bad Fur Day. But who am I?
Hey guys, how's it going? Let's start the show!
Let the roasting begin. Now, as you may all know, Leafy has a pretty bad habit of literally wasting everybody's time. And nowhere is this more prevalent than in his I'm suing Keemstar and drama alert rant, in which it took him 4 minutes and 41 seconds to get to the point of his video, and that was me just speeding up the process through the magic of Windows Movie Maker. If it takes you that long to get to the point of your video, then there is an obvious problem. You're doing it wrong. The first half of the video is just filled with pointless filler that's designed to do nothing more than to just drag on the video for as long as possible.
Not even a joke or anything, by the way. Keemstar has literally already been exposed for, well, where do I even start?
Just giving out all of my information because he
This
thinks
is his phone number. The guy's from Canada. This is his wife's phone number right here. This kid is a fucking loser in every sense of the word. Like this guy.
He also makes a bunch of extremely unfunny and cringy jokes about Dr. Robotnik of all things for some reason.
Which one of you baboons melted my portable portal telly?
Yep, sorry guys, but it's about time you know my true colors. I'm actually a robot.
He also states the obvious and literally tells everybody what Keemstar does on a daily basis, as if we didn't know that already.
What does he do on YouTube, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple. He quite literally sits on Twitter all day waiting for something to happen, and eventually when something happens, when two 15-year-old YouTubers call each other gay, he jumps in his chair, turns on his camera, and just reads off exactly what happened, and that's it. What, were you expecting more? Nope, that's literally fucking it.
A guy by the name of Kendrick, aka Eki, posted a video titled 100% Proof Leafy is Here Subbotting, which Keemstar picked up on and made a video about accusing Leafy of, well, subbotting. Now, to play devil's advocate here for a second, I can understand why Leafy was so upset, because accusing somebody of subbotting is a very serious allegation, and unless you have evidence to back it up, not only are you going to look like a moron, but you're also going to look like a massive liar on top of it. But, in the same breath, I can also understand Eki's point of view, as he didn't know stuff like that could be faked. He didn't know subbot insights could be faked. Once he found out it was fake, he deleted the video and apologized for his actions, although that didn't stop a swarm of uneducated, unintelligent Leafy fans to attack his channel with mass amounts of hate. But we'll get to that later. Now, when does he get to Keemstar, you may ask? Well, he doesn't get to it until much later, because he pads it out with shit like this.
Also not talking about your stupid fucking taunts like, oh, if you're a man, you'll actually respond to this. He was in school, he had to leave school immediately and make this YouTube video, right? He was sitting down on the toilet having massive amounts of diarrhea, and in the middle of this diarrhea squirting out of his butthole, he had to jump off the toilet and run to make this YouTube video.
He actually doesn't get to Keemstar until 13 minutes and 22 seconds in. Look, I can be a chronic procrastinator sometimes, and even I think that's piss poor time management, man. But then again, since you know the Keemstar Exposed bandwagon is popular, you had to squeeze every last little bit of juice that you could out of the subject. Because let's be honest here, the only reason you ever made any of the videos you did on Keemstar was so that you could literally profit off of it, while at the same time trying to hide behind the fact that you were friends with them, and you go around and parade and say, oh, Keemstar is awful, he's a cancer to the internet, I always hated him, when there's loads of evidence out there that prove that you were friends with him. Just why? I mean, there's no reason. There's absolutely no reason why this needed to be one video. This could have been 2 separate videos and you would have gotten the same point, Leafy. Hell, I had to do your job for you and edit out all of the unnecessary parts just to save time, because that's how incompetent you are when it comes to editing and cutting stuff out. Okay, I'm just gonna stay calm. I'm gonna stay calm. And then at the end of the video he says, oh, I'm suing Keemstar. Yeah. He's suing Keemstar for slander. And to be fair, what Keemstar did is very slanderous. I'm not gonna deny that. That was very wrong, and it was completely scummy. And for those of you who don't know, slander is illegal. Saying things about somebody that's not true to millions of people is illegal. But then again, Leafy isn't innocent in all of this either, and I'll explain that later on. But that isn't even the worst of it. Leafy also does some really sneaky, underhanded shit by using misleading titles, and of course, misleading thumbnails. Now, Leafy made 2 rants on YouTube, one of which was called I'm Getting Banned Off of YouTube, and the other, My Channel is Getting Shut Down. Now, I made a video of my own talking about the YouTube demonetization disaster, and I criticized YouTube for their vagueness, their lack of communication, their willingness to screw over content creators just to be dicks, and the fact that this whole demonetization purge could eventually lead to something far worse. And if the YouTube Heroes thing is any indication, that's the far worst part. But not once did I ever say that channels were going to get shut down, or that videos were going to get taken down. Now, Leafy knows that his channel isn't going to get shut down, and YouTube would be absolutely foolish to shut it down. But yet, he says in the title, my channel is getting shut down. I'm getting banned off of YouTube. But he doesn't say in the video that that's going to happen at all. That is even a possibility. You know, and I mean, the thing is, regardless of whether we like it or not, Leafy is here as one of the most popular channels on YouTube. And if YouTube were to get rid of him, that's a huge chunk of their revenue just gone. Because he makes them a lot of money. And if you know anything about YouTube, they need a lot of money. Now, for those of you who don't know, allow me to give you a quick history lesson. Google bought YouTube back in 2006 for $1.65 billion, a deal that was necessary for YouTube at the time because they were crippled by lawsuits from major corporations over people uploading their copyrighted content onto the site. And in the 10 years YouTube has been part of the Google empire, they have never once turned a profit. I'm not kidding. Like, YouTube is actually the least profitable asset that Google owns. Or to be more specific, their parent company Alphabet owns. So that's why they're doubling down on this whole demonetization thing and YouTube Heroes, because they need to find a way to make the site profitable, because it's crazy expensive to run with all the videos that are being uploaded every day and the massive server infrastructure and all of that other stuff. So of course, they're not going to get rid of Leafy. Now, these misleading titles, and that's what they are incredibly misleading, they are violating the YouTube community guidelines. And one of those rules are no spam, misleading titles, metadata, all that other stuff. But is YouTube going to do anything about it? Of course they aren't. Why? Because as they are known to do in certain instances, they are willing to play favorites. They're willing to excuse those that are actually violating the community guidelines as long as they're making them loads of money. Like, for example, look at all of those obnoxious prank channels that go out of their way to harass random people on the streets and say, it's just a prank, bro. Is YouTube ever going to remove their videos and delete their channels? Of course there aren't, not only because they bring in a lot of views, but they also bring in the moolah. And Leafy's here is in that same instance. He generates a lot of views and makes YouTube a lot of money. So the people that are actually violating the community guidelines, violating the terms of service, they're not getting punished. They're getting off scot-free, whereas the ones that are actually following the rules and abiding by the YouTube rules, they're the ones that are getting punished. They're the ones that are getting striked and their channels deleted and all this other shit. It's blatant favoritism, and I don't agree with it, but I do understand why YouTube does it. Now, it's not just the clickbait that gets under my skin, because clickbait on the internet is to be expected at this point, but it's the fact that Leafy feels the need to even do it at all. You have over 4 million subscribers, Calvin. You could put out a video about literally anything and people would watch it in droves. The fact that you still feel the need to make videos that have clickbaity titles and thumbnails is just sad. But I think it's also because you know that your content is terrible, so you have to compensate for that by using clickbait titles and thumbnails to draw people in. But then again, your 12-year-old fan base eats the shit up, so hey, I guess it works, right? Speaking of which, not only are Leafy fans completely unintelligent, not only do they lack original thought, but they're also massive hypocrites. This is one of the many comments I got for daring to criticize Leafy back in April. LOL, another small channel who jumps on the drama? Jeez, let it go. So Leafy can go around bullying and harassing whoever he wants, and that's okay, that's fine, that's a joke, that's satire, that shouldn't be taken seriously. But the minute anybody dares to criticize Leafy, it's, you're just jumping on the drama bandwagon for views, meh! Or, how dare you make fun of Leafy, you assholes! I swear to God, these people must have the most selective memory in the world, because I don't know if you guys know this, but Leafy jumps on bandwagons all the time. In fact, to provide context into why I find this to be utterly hypocritical, this is what Leafy himself said about YouTube drama. Roll the footage.
And pretty much everybody else. I wanted to make a quick video on a certain topic that's been on my mind in these past few weeks, and that topic is of course mob mentality. See, through every piece of drama that I've seen on YouTube in these past few weeks, every single time one YouTuber disagrees with another YouTuber, that other YouTuber is completely spammed with hate comments, and I'm not talking about shit like, your videos suck, I don't like your channel. It's fucking shit like this. I hope you get cancer. Fucking hang yourself. You should kill yourself.
He thinks YouTube drama is stupid, he doesn't like seeing channels getting hate bombed, he doesn't like mob mentality, okay, fair enough. However, Leafy is notorious for jumping on bandwagons whenever possible. How so, you may ask? Onision, Keemstar, Vegan Gains, Joey's World Tour, Jacob Sartorius, FouseyTube, Trisha Paytaz, Marina Joyce, Stomedy, may I go on? I mean, it's just staggering. And while he may say he doesn't like mob mentality and he doesn't like seeing channels get hate bombed, Leafy's fan base is exactly what he preached against in that video, mob mentality. And while yes, he does acknowledge the fact that his fans are utterly cancerous, and he does acknowledge that his fans are toxic, the thing that pisses me off the most is that he's never made an effort to tell his fans to leave these people alone. And I know some people are going to argue, but he says it in the disclaimer. He says it at the start of his videos. Does that really even matter? Does anyone read through the fucking description anymore? No, they don't. And since most of his fans are a bunch of immature 12-year-olds, they're going to completely disregard that message and go to the channels Leafy makes videos on and completely spam them with hate comments. So, in my opinion, Leafy is just as bad as these pieces of shit that do these things. And it's so funny how they're so quick to hate bomb on people like Jacob Sartorius and Joey's World Tour and tell them to kill themselves and drink bleach and leave all these other nasty, awful comments, which really just goes to showcase some of the worst the internet has to offer. Yet when iDubbbz points out the fact that he has a non-existent chin, they all lose their goddamn minds and say, how dare you make fun of Leafy? He doesn't deserve it. He's just trying to make people laugh. It's just satire. It's just a joke. I swear. It's just satire is slowly becoming the new. It's just a prank, bro. Yeah, because apparently you can use satire as an excuse to be an asshole. And let's be honest here, satire is not an excuse to be an asshole. Because, as I've said before, I don't mind offensive humor, I don't mind edgy humor, provided that it's done right, provided that it's actually funny. However, if you're just being offensive and edgy for the sake of being offensive and edgy, you're truly crossing the line to where you're just being offensive. You're truly crossing the line to where you're just being a fucking asshole, which is what Leafy does on a pretty consistent basis. Remember how I said before that his fans also have very selective memory? They seem to honestly think that Leafy was the first person to call out people like Onision, Keemstar, Vegan Gains, and FouseyTube. Newsflash, dipshits. Leafy was far from the first person to call out Onision, Keemstar, Vegan Gains, and FouseyTube. Allow me to enlighten you. Okay, so in his Onision rant, when he highlights the fact that he was emotionally and mentally abusive to his ex-girlfriend, Shiloh Hoganson, and he showed a clip from Shiloh Forgot Me, in which Greg claimed that Shiloh was having a seizure, he highlights that as if it's some kind of new fact, as if it's some kind of new occurrence, which is awfully familiar because myself and many others discussed it back in 2011, which was 5 years ago, i.e., it's not relevant anymore. And besides the fact, who the hell wants to watch an Onision rant in fucking 2016? Yes, I know, people like Elvis the Alien and Hey Watch Your Mouth have made rants on Onision, but the difference is those were actually good because they highlighted his current transgressions, his current fuck-ups. For example, when he pretty disrespectfully attacked the fans of slain sinner Christina Grimmie, which is how it should be done, because at the very least, if you're going to make a video about a dead topic, you should at least try to bring something new to the table that other people may have missed. Leafy, in that video, just rehashed and regurgitated the same shit people had been saying for years, and in fact, people were making videos calling Onision out on his bullshit far before that. Hell, Mr. Repsion and some guy 827 were notorious for making videos on Onision, and they were doing it far before Leafy is here got his grubby little hands on it. Or Keemstar, people like Chosen, Eki, and Lewis Spears were calling out Keemstar far before Leafy. Hell, even Minnesota Burns called out Keemstar far before Leafy. Lewis Spears, aka Lou Review, also made a video calling out FouseyTube mere months before Leafy made his rant on FouseyTube. And Vegan Gains, people were making videos calling him out on his bullshit in last year. Last year! So Leafy was far from the first person to do it, and yet he gets all the credit. People are saying, thank God, Leafy. Thank goodness you had the balls to stand up against these people. You're a YouTube legend. Finally, somebody is speaking the truth. Oh God. It's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. And in my opinion, it really devalues all of the other people that made videos calling these people out years before Leafy, and quite frankly, they did it far better. All Leafy did was just rehash and regurgitate shit that we already know of. He didn't bring anything new to the table, yet people are praising him like he's the only one to speak out against people like this. Get the hell out of here with that. Like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, and it's far from the truth. Far from the fucking truth. And, you know, I find it so funny how they're completely unwilling to accept opposing points of view. Like, they're so willing to go to other people's channels and hate on them. But the minute anybody, whether it's me, or Eki, or Easy On Me, or iDubbbz, the minute anybody criticizes Leafy, we get spammed with hated comments. Hell, I was told to kill myself. I got spammed with nice shirt memes and hiss and all that other stuff. Eki got fucking destroyed. Easy On Me got fucking destroyed. But that's apparently okay to you, Leafy fan brats. That's okay. But if anybody points out Leafy's flaws, it's World War III, and they must die. They must pay for calling out your Lord and Savior. Let me tell you something. I know it may be hard for you to hear, but it's the truth. Leafy is not above criticism. Hell, any channel, regardless if it's big or small, is not exempt from criticism. And that's the way that it is. Instead of going to people's channels and leaving them hate comments and just being cancerous little cunts, maybe you should try actually listening to what they have to say and then forming your own opinion. You know, think for yourselves. But that requires too much effort. That requires too much brain power. And since most of Leafy's fans are immature 12-year-olds that are quite honestly pretty fucking stupid, that's not going to happen. They're going to completely disregard this. And honestly, I know I'm going to get hate bombed for this. I know I'm going to get negative comments. And I know I'm going to get people telling me to kill myself and to drink bleach and all this shit. But I don't care, because I'm expressing my honest opinions. And Leafy's fan base is the most cancerous fan base on the internet. By far. Like, if you thought certain portions of Gravity Falls, if you thought certain portions of the Gravity Falls fan base and the Steven Universe fan base were bad, or if you thought even Mr. Enter's fan base was bad, you've seen nothing yet. Leafy's fan base is far worse. And honestly, they're not edgy, they're not witty, they're not clever, they're not even, like, mildly amusing. They're just really fucking annoying, and they need to go away and just fuck off. But we're not done yet. Oh, no. Because to end this video, we're going to be talking about that little rat gnome. This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? Now, as you all know, Leafy and Keemstar had a falling out a few months ago for some reason. Leafy claims it's because Keemstar talks shit about him.
Keemstar's been shit-talking me and one of my good friends, Grade A Under A, who's also a YouTuber, straight up to multiple different people, and on top of that, behind our fucking backs.
But Leafy's never actually provided any evidence to prove that what he's saying is correct, that Keemstar did in fact talk shit about him. Now, I'm surprised nobody is bringing this up, and I'm surprised that no one is talking about this, because this is shady as fuck. Now, I'm not saying that Keemstar did or didn't do it. In fact, I think Keemstar is an utter piece of shit. I think he's a horrible human being, and quite frankly, he doesn't deserve to be on this website. However, I do not support blindly accusing someone of something without any evidence, which is what Leafy has done. Now, if what I'm suspecting is true, this could get even more shady. Now, I want you to keep in mind that what I'm suggesting here is purely a suspicion that has no basis in fact or reality, so take what I say with a massive grain of salt. Now, Leafy said that Keemstar was shit-talking him and Grade A Under A to various other people behind their backs, but he provides no evidence in which to prove his claim to be correct. No screenshot, no DM, no video, nothing like that. We just have his word to go by, which is not enough to convey whether or not he's actually telling the truth. And if what I'm suspecting is correct, and I very well could be wrong here, and if anyone has any evidence to prove that Keemstar did in fact talk shit about Leafy, then please leave it in the comment section down below. But if what I'm suspecting is true, then Leafy himself could be potentially engaging in slander, because he's going to his audience, and he has over 4 million subscribers, and he's literally telling people that somebody talked shit about him, that somebody slandered his character, that somebody spoke bad about him without any evidence to prove it to millions and millions of people. So when you publicly slander someone's character to millions and millions of people, that is slander, and that is illegal. And Keemstar could very well have the grounds to countersue. And Leafy, and I'm talking to you directly, I'm not going to say if you're a man you should address these claims. I'm going to say if you have any moral decency you should address these claims. If Keemstar did in fact talk shit about you, then please let me know. Post it in the comments. Hell, even make a video about it. Prove that Keemstar did in fact talk shit about you. Because if you don't, I'm going to lean towards the fact that it's probably bullshit. What I think really happened is that Leafy saw an opportunity came up because the Keemstar exposed bandwagon was at its peak, and he saw an opportunity to screw Keemstar over, and so he decided to make a video exposing Keemstar for the shit he was doing, despite the fact that he was completely okay and was aware of the shit Keemstar was doing months beforehand, in order to get views, in order to make lots and lots of money. And as much as he likes to claim that he hated Keemstar from the start, and that he's an asshole, and that he's a cunt, and that he's a criminal, and all this other shit, Let's not forget that he was friends with him. He was friends with a rat. He was friends with a gnome, which just makes him a fake piece of shit, in my opinion. If you're going to be friends with a piece of shit, if you're going to be friends with the scum of the earth, embrace it. Support him. You know? Be completely okay with it. Don't just say, I'm with you, man. I'm totally support anything that you do. I don't mind the stuff that you've said and done in the past. That's all watershed. You my homie, man. For real, what up? And then, a few months later, say, he's an asshole. He's this, he's that, and look at all the reasons why he's an asshole. Because not only are you just rehashing and regurgitating shit, but you also look incredibly fake. And that's really what I'm saying here. Leafy is fake. Because how can you be okay with the type of shit somebody does? And let's be honest, Keemstar's past is not bright in the slightest. And he's shown that he's completely willing to screw people over for nothing more than monetary value. That's how shady and manipulative this guy is, that I'm having to defend a piece of shit like Keemstar. And Leafy, you and Keemstar are no better. In fact, you and Keemstar are both toxic assholes, just in different ways. You're no better. He's slandering you, and you are potentially slandering him. You know, you're both pieces of shit. There's no horse in this race. You know, and there's nothing funny or clever about anything either of you do. In fact, the reality of what you do is that you live off of making fun and mocking others to make money. You bully and harass people to make money. That's the reality of what you do, and that's fucked. You know, I've never said this about somebody before, but I think in this case it's well justified. Leafy is cancer. I think we're done here. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue an outro sequence now. Hey guys, I was just gonna leave it there, but some new developments about Leafy came up after I recorded this originally, so I feel the need to talk about these new developments because it pretty much confirms everything that I suspected about Leafy to be true. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. Leafy is a fucking thief. And why do I say he's a thief? Well, I came across this little gem on the YouTube drama subreddit. A guy by the name of Mr. Amazing. If you don't know who he is, he's a guy on YouTube that does cringe compilations, and he has this whole 80s visual aesthetic. It's really cool looking. Leafy saw it, he loved the intro, and wanted to use it in his own videos. Now, you would figure if he was going to use an intro that somebody else has, that he would credit and acknowledge them, right? Right? No, he doesn't. What he did is that he took the intro, he essentially stole it, and didn't credit Mr. Amazing, and he also didn't credit the guy who originally made it for Mr. Amazing. They were not credited or acknowledged at all, and he tried to essentially claim it as his own. That is called plagiarism. That is called stealing, and it's wrong. And I know all the 12-year-old Leafy fan brats are going to defend and justify this shit. And if you honestly are going to try and defend this shit, if you're honestly going to try and justify it by saying, Leafy's a popular YouTuber and he can copy whoever he wants, fuck you. Seriously, go fuck yourself, because that's not okay. If we're going by that logic that you can copy whoever you want just because you're popular, then, you know, you can go and plagiarize a book and claim it as your own, right? That's okay. You can cheat off a test and copy someone's answers word for word and claim it as your own. Oh, apparently, if that's the case, right? Would you honestly do either of those? And then say, well, you know, I can copy whoever I want. I can do what I want. Would you do that? No, you wouldn't do it because it's fucking stupid. Because it's wrong. And seriously, go and try to steal something from somebody. Go and plagiarize something from somebody. And see how long you last in a creative space. Because honestly, people in a creative space don't take plagiarism. They don't take stealing very lightly. They're not going to say, well, you know, you can copy whoever you want. That's okay. You know, it doesn't matter if you rip people off. It doesn't matter if you steal from people. That's totally fine, right? you know? And it's so funny. It's so funny how people got on Matthew Santoro's case for plagiarizing, which, to be fair, was very wrong, and that was not okay, and I'm in no way excusing Matthew Santoro for what he did. But yet, when Leafy does the same shit and steals from people and plagiarizes from people, he gets a free pass. So Matthew Santoro gets hated on, he gets shit on, he gets all this hate, right? But Leafy is the one that gets a free pass. Give me a fucking break. This is ridiculous. As a content creator, I take audience integrity very seriously. I take ownership very seriously. Like, if somebody came and stole my content, and stole my intro, stole my whole aesthetic, I wouldn't be too happy about that. Let's just say that. And if you're gonna sit here and defend it, if you're gonna say, well, oh, Leafy's a popular YouTuber, and you should be grateful that he wants to use your intros. Okay, let's go in Mr. Amazing's shoes for a second, right? What if you made an intro, right? What if you made a little animation that you poured your heart and soul into, that you expended a lot of time and effort into, and then some prick that doesn't even put any effort into his videos comes along, steals it from you, and then claims it as his own? Would you be okay with that? Would you say, oh, it's okay, he's a popular YouTuber, he can steal from whoever he wants, he can copy whoever he wants? No, you wouldn't be okay with it. I bet you would be pretty fucking livid. So what's with this whole favoritism, double standard bullshit? Jesus Christ. And that's not even the worst of it. It's not even the worst of it. All those little animations that Leafy has in his videos, those weren't even made by him either. Those were made by a guy named Nick, aka Hey Watch Your Mouth, who makes excellent videos. He's a really great guy. I'll leave a link to his channel in the annotations above, so you can go and watch his videos. Please do. Yeah, he made them. He made those animations. Leafy did not make them at all. And he essentially stole them from Hey Watch Your Mouth and didn't credit or acknowledge him. And what's even more scummy is that he actually posted this on his second channel, the animations that Hey Watch Your Mouth did, and essentially made money off of it and didn't credit or acknowledge him. That's plagiarism. That's stealing. That's wrong. That's so wrong on so many levels that the earth would probably explode because of how morally inept it is. Because it is morally inept. And the bottom of the barrel, the cherry on top of this shit sundae, Leafy turned his back on Keemstar. This is how shady and manipulative Leafy is. That I have to defend a piece of shit like Keemstar. And don't get me wrong, I don't like Keemstar. I think he's a human. He's a pile of human garbage. I've established that at this point. But what I'm not okay with is people that turn their backs on their friends. So what Leafy did is that he made the rants on Keemstar to benefit himself, to profit off of it. And not just that, he turned his back on Keemstar as a quote-unquote business decision because everybody and their mother were making rants about Keemstar and talking about what a piece of shit he was. And because he wanted to separate his brand from Keemstar, because he didn't want to be associated with somebody that, well, does the stuff that Keemstar does, he decided to, rant about Keemstar. Him and Grade A Under A. So both him and Grade are scummy pieces of shit. Right? That's the only reason he ranted about Keemstar. Was purely for his own benefit. To salvage his business because he was worried. He was worried that people would associate him with the type of scummy behavior Keemstar inhibits. I'm so angry. I really am because Leafy is a piece of shit. Calvin, you're a piece of shit, and I mean that sincerely. And by the way, your whole spiel about Keemstar talking shit about you, that's also bullshit, too. I suspected it when I recorded this a few weeks ago, and now it's pretty much confirmed that that was bullshit, that was a business decision. Leafy is a piece of shit. He's a thief, he's a liar, he's a manipulator, and oh, before I forget, he also talks shit about Pyrocynical behind his back and completely hates his guts and tried to get Hey Watch Your Mouth and Heretic to do videos talking shit about H3H3 Productions, Ethan Klein. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. He actually did this. Now, while I don't know if he tried to plot to have other people attack Pyrocynical, considering the type of shit Leafy has done, I wouldn't put that past him. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't at this point. But really, I honestly don't know. As a Joseph Buckley once said, imitation isn't the sincerest form of flattery, it's the laziest form of creation. I think Leafy does the type of shit that he does because he realizes how unoriginal and uncreative he is, and since he can't come up with any ideas and concepts of his own, he has to steal shit from other people in order to maintain some semblance of originality and relevancy on YouTube, even though it's completely ripped off. And what really pisses me off about all of this is the fact that this is the exact same shit he got on Jinx for doing. Stealing other people's content, being a thief, taking shit that didn't belong to him. And what does he do? He sinks to the exact same level as Jinx and steals shit from other people that didn't belong to him, that other people made, that other people put hours of time and effort into, that other people poured their heart and soul into, just so he can say, look at how original I am, look at how much effort I put into this, doesn't this look cool? Hey guys, look at me, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you, Leafy, you dumb piece of shit. I am so mad that I could literally explode into 1,000 pieces. And I know the risk I'm going to take by doing this. I know somebody's going to say, Zion, you have only 340 subscribers. He has almost 5 million. He could destroy your channel like that. He could destroy your entire YouTube existence like that. What do I have to be really scared of? A bunch of immature 12-year-olds that spam kill yourself and hiss constantly? Yeah, I'm so scared. I'm so scared of the big bad reptile. Calvin, if you ever manage to stumble across this video, if you ever happen to stumble across the 22-year-old autistic loser who makes rants with a shitty webcam, if you ever stumble upon this video, then please respond to it. I welcome it. I dare you. I double dare you, because I would fucking destroy you. I would blast you into oblivion Elder Scrolls style. And I'm not saying that to be an internet tough guy. I'm not joking. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm fucking serious. Because I would come at you so hard that you wouldn't even know what hit you, Leafy. And that's the honest truth. So please, respond to it. I would love it. I would challenge it. But we all know that you're not going to, because you're too much of a fucking pussy to do it. Leafy is a piece of shit. Calvin is a piece of shit. Period. He uses people for his own benefit. He steals shit that doesn't belong to him that other people made. He's a manipulator. He's a backstabber. He's not a good friend. He's just a horrible person in general. And there's so many other things that I could point out about Leafy, about Calvin. But you know what? At this point, why would I need to? I think I've made my points pretty clear at this point. I think I've made my stance really, really clear. And I implore you, don't support people like this. Don't support people that use other YouTubers for their own benefit. Don't support people that, you know, plot attacks against people they don't like simply because they don't like them. And don't support people that plagiarize and steal. And I'm not excusing him because he's a big YouTuber. I'm not excusing him because he has over 4 million subscribers. That's not an excuse to be an asshole. That's not an excuse to do the type of shit that Leafy does. And honestly, I hope his career goes up in smoke. I know that's a harsh thing to say, but I don't give a fuck at this point. You know, he can just disappear for all I care. And I hope he does. I hope his career goes up in smoke. I hope he's gone. I hope he's gone. I really do. Because I think the YouTube community would be all the better for it. You know what? I'm done here. Have a wonderful day. And remember to always stay frosty and keep it weird.